defenders.
We are defenders of Zion.
We are the defenders.
Yeah.
We are the defenders.
We are defenders of Zion.
We are the defenders.
We are defenders of Zion.
This class right here is for unbelief. This class right here is for you and me. This class right here means everything. Everything that an Israelite needs to be. This class right here is for unbelief. This class right here is for you and me. This class right here means everything. Everything that an Israelite needs to be.
No one told us life could get this hard. Everybody failed except the Lord. When I feel like I ain't coming through, I see these issues don't apply to you. Had to change my path, change my ways. All of this heart attack don't last always. The Most High make us kings to serve as slaves. I'ma be an Israelite to the grave.
We are the defenders.
We are defenders of Zion.
We are the defenders.
Yeah.
We are the defenders.
We are defenders of Zion.
We are the defenders.
We are defenders of Zion.
All right, shalom. Most High in Christ bless to everybody tuning in. All praise to the Most High. We made it to another Sabbath. All right. Also, we want to say happy Feast of Tabernacles. Okay. We are still in the feast. We are in the middle of the feast. Okay. Tonight's topic, we promised it to you. Revelation chapter 12, part 2. If you are watching this and you haven't seen part 1, go back, watch the Revelation chapter 12 class first, because this is part 2. Okay. Let's open up with Leviticus 23 and verse 34.
Happy Sabbath, Israel. Happy Feast of Tabernacles. The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 34. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord.
So, as you know, the 15th day has passed. Okay, the feast started Monday night. Okay, now when the Bible is saying, speak unto the children of Israel, make no mistake about it, the children of Israel are you so-called blacks and you so-called Hispanics whose fathers are of Negroid and Indian descent. Okay, you are the biblical Israelites, and we have a duty to keep God's commandments in the faith in Christ. All right, let's read verse 35.
Verse 35. On the first day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you.
On the 8th day shall be a holy convocation unto you. Right, so the 8th day, right, it starts Monday night. Okay, Monday night starts the closeout. Okay, and the feast will be completely over Tuesday night. Okay, right, now let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 31. Right, and as you begin to grow, you'll start to understand how to count the feast days. All right, and the proper way to observe them, because we started the feast Monday night. So that means that the 7 days have been completed the next Monday night. So that's the 7 days. But then it says the 8th day you have a holy convocation. So that will mean Monday night you start that holy convocation until Tuesday night. Okay. Deuteronomy 31 and verse 10.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31 and verse 10.
Uh-huh.
And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the solemnity of the year of release, in the feast of tabernacles.
Right. So every 7 years, right, you had a Sabbath. And now we're reading every single year you have the Feast of Tabernacles. The Lord put forth feast days for us to observe every single year. And every single year, our people deny what the Lord said, and they want to celebrate Halloween. Right? Now, our people want to celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas when the Lord gave us feast days to observe. It's up to you to be obedient. Right, come on.
Verse number 11.
Uh-huh.
When all Israel is come to appear before the Lord thy God.
When all Israel is come to appear before the Lord thy God. Come on.
In the place which he shall choose.
So in the place which he shall choose is Jerusalem. Right? So 3 times a year, 3 different feast days, we had to come to Jerusalem. Right? And this is the whole thing about, tabernacles in general, because you had folks that were staying in different parts of Israel, but they had to come to Jerusalem for the Feast of Tabernacles. So what did they have to do? They had to build their booth. Okay, that is the point. They were supposed to come to Jerusalem and they were supposed to build their booth. Come on.
Thou shalt read this law before all Israel in their hearing.
Uh-huh.
Gather the people together,
Uh-huh.
men and women and children, and thy stranger that is within thy gates, that they may hear, and that they may learn, and fear the Lord your God, and observe to do all the words of this law.
Observe to do all the words of this law, man. So when we kept the Feast of Tabernacles, it was a chance for people that have never kept the feast, never knew nothing about the laws, for them to come in and build their tabernacle, for them to learn and build themselves up, right? This is what you read and you start to understand the spiritual aspects behind these feast days. Feast of Tabernacles, we supposed to be building our tabernacle, right? This is why the Day of Atonement is before Tabernacles, so that you can empty yourselves of all the things of the flesh and build on the fruits of the Spirit, okay? So now, let's go to the book of Job real quick. Job chapter 11. Job chapter 11, and let's read verse 14.
The book of Job, chapter 11, and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
If iniquity be in thine hand, put it far away, and let not wickedness dwell in thy tabernacles.
It say, if iniquity be in thy hand, put it far away. So the only way for you to put it far away is you have to understand what it is, right? The only way that you can see your sins is when you're honest with yourself. When you confess your faults, okay, and you understand spiritual inventory. The Bible say you're supposed to see what's evil and give not yourself over to it, okay? But it say, and let not wickedness dwell in thy tabernacles. So, during this week, as you reflect on what you need to be doing to please the Lord, man, understand you want to get these things out. All these things that are dwelling in you, those are the things that defile you, okay? Let's go to what's that? Matthew. Let's go to Matthew. Is it Matthew or Mark? Let me see real quick. Let's go to Mark chapter 7. That's what I want. Mark chapter 7 and verse 21.
The book of Mark, chapter 7 and verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
For from within,
For from within, okay? Come on.
out of the heart of men,
Uh-huh.
proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders,
Mm-hmm.
thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness.
Uh-huh.
All evil things come from within and defile the man.
Right. So, you are the one that knows what you're dealing with. You know what you're battling with, right? So what you reading in Job 11 is telling you, listen, you got to get this wickedness out of you, okay, and build upon what you're supposed to be building on, right? We went into the palm tree, right? You build with the palm trees, okay? It's a representation of Christ. This is why when you read in Sirach 24, Christ said that he was exalted as the palm tree. You have to build upon that, right? Let's go to Revelation 12. We're going to start at the top. We're going to go through it a little bit just to refresh your memory. But if you have not watched the first class, please do so because this is part 2. Okay. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven,
Mm-hmm.
a woman clothed with the sun.
A woman clothed with the sun. So through precept upon precept, we understand that this woman is Israel. Okay, and she's clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet. It's a similitude of wisdom and understanding, right? Come on.
Clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet,
Mm-hmm.
and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
And upon her head a crown of 12 stars. So we went over these stars show you that this woman is Israel. Okay. This woman has a crown of 12 stars. Real quick. We coming right back. Let's go to Nehemiah. Nehemiah chapter 9. And let's read verse 21.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 9 and verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, 40 years didst thou sustain them in the wilderness.
40 years didst thou sustain them in the wilderness, right? Even within Revelation 12, you understand there are different wildernesses, okay? And the Lord has sustained his people in all of them, okay? The Lord watches over Israel, okay? Come on.
Yea, 40 years didst thou sustain them in the wilderness, so that they lacked nothing. Their clothes waxed not old, and their feet swelled not.
So, I mean, what is showing you is that when we went through the wilderness, our people murmured and they complained, but at the end of the day, man, the Lord was taking care of us, right? Come on.
Verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, thou gavest them kingdoms and nations, and didst divide them into corners. So they possessed the land of Sihon, and the land of the king of Heshbon, and the land of Og, king of Bashan.
Mm-hmm.
Their children also multipliedst thou as the stars of heaven.
Their children also multipliest thou as the stars of heaven. You keep seeing Israel being referred to these stars, man. All right, let's go back to Revelation chapter 12. It's all tying into the same thing, right? 12 and 2.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered.
Right. The woman that she is Israel, and this child is the Christ. Right? Come on.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And behold, a great red
The
dragon,
great red dragon, Esau. Come on.
having 7 heads and 10 horns,
Mhm.
and 7 crowns upon his head.
Esau got different branches of his government, and Esau is in different kingdoms. Okay, come on.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven.
His tail, meaning the end, okay, drew the third part of the stars of heaven. Talking about the southern kingdom. Come on.
and did cast them to the earth.
Uh-huh.
And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
Devour Christ as soon as he was born. Right? Come on.
And she brought forth a man child,
Mm-hmm.
who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
Uh-huh.
And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne.
And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. So it's showing you that this is when Christ died, then he rose, and then he was caught up into the third heaven. Right? Come on.
And the woman fled into the wilderness,
And the woman, after Christ died, this woman, Israel, fled into the wilderness. Right? So this is 70 AD. Come on.
where she hath a place prepared of God,
Uh-huh.
that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
Right, a dispensation of time. Right, we went over that. Come on.
And there was war in heaven.
And there was war in heaven. Come on.
Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels.
So when you see this war, understand that this is not talking about the end, okay? This right here is talking about spiritual warfare that's being taken place. You have Esau is trying to usurp authority over the Most High and the Christ and the Israelites. He's trying to place himself in that position of God, okay? But at the end of the day, let's go to 1 Peter chapter 2. 1 Peter chapter 2, and let's read verse 11.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts,
Abstain from fleshly lusts. Come on.
which war against the soul.
Which war against the soul. So you fighting your fleshly lusts, that's a battle. That's a war that's taking place within you. All right. You can't allow the flesh to win that battle. Okay. But you have to overcome the flesh by the Spirit of Christ. Okay. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 6. Ephesians chapter 6. And let's read verse 12.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 6, and verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, man. These are the ordinances and the governments and the politics that Esau has set in place. Christianity, all these things. These are the things that we war against, because we have to put the Bible up as our sword to fight these doctrines, to defend our people, to tell our people the truth, because these other nations use these systems to keep us in sin. So it's our job to use the Bible to keep the commandments. Okay, come on.
Against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
Right, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, man. So you have to understand, the Lord said, be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 12. The gospel of peace. Because believe it or not, the Israelites will be saved. Okay. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 7 again.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels.
Right, Michael and his angels. Right, so this Michael right here is talking about Christ. Okay, this Michael represents the war spirit of Christ. Right, come on.
And the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven.
Neither was their place found any more in heaven. Right, so what you're reading is that Edom has tried their best to knock us out. But at the end of the day, the Lord does not allow that to happen. Right, let's go to the book of Psalms real quick. Right, let's go to the book of Psalms. Right, chapter 83. And verse 3.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83, and verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, man. These are those principalities and those spirits of darkness that are against us, man. These are all the nations. Okay, come on.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
Consulted against thy hidden ones, man. We tell our people all the time, America has spent billions of dollars to keep us from knowing that we the Israelites, man. Even when you look at this movie, The Woman King, our people going around thinking that they part of the Dahomey tribe. Now, how much did that movie cost? Over $20 million to make. But what's the true agenda behind this movie? It's toxic femininity, right? And it's pushing our people to believe that they African. Because the Dahomey tribe sold us to the so-called white man. They were a part of the slave trade in Wade, in Judah. Right? And this is something that you can look up on Google, man. You can look up Dahomey and Wade and find it right away. Spelled WHYDAH. You can look this stuff up, man. But it's an agenda that they're using to deceive our people. Right? But at the end of the day, the Israelites are here. And it's not going to prevail. Okay? Let's read verse 3 again.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83, and verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Consulted against thy hidden ones, man. We are the hidden ones. Right? Come on.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Mm-hmm.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Let's see. The first ones that are confederate against us, come on.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom. The first ones on the list that are against us, man. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 12. First ones on the list is Edom. Revelation 12 and 8.
And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven.
So all of this stuff that they're trying to do, man, what we reading is prophesied that they're not going to be able to prevail. Come on.
Verse number 9.
Uh-huh.
And the great dragon was cast out,
Uh-huh.
that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
What it's showing you when it say he was cast out into the earth, man, it's talking about this man losing his rulership, right? When you look at the Roman Empire, okay, this man was losing his rulership, right? And all of deceit that they was trying to put forth, it's not going to work, right? Real quick, let's go to Jeremiah. Just show y'all something real quick. Jeremiah 49, right? Jeremiah 49 and verse 10.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49 and verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I have made Esau bare.
I have made Esau bare, man. Come on.
I have uncovered his secret places.
Uncovered his secret places. This is what it means when it say he was cast out into the earth. Right? All his lies and deceit, man, this stuff is being put on Front Street. Right? Come on.
And he shall not be able to hide himself.
He shall not be able to hide himself, man. This man was cast out into the earth. Come on.
His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not.
And he is not. Okay? So you have to understand, this is all of the Lord at the end of the day. The Lord is the one that's doing this. The Lord is allowing things to happen. But at the end of the day, the Lord is protecting us in the wilderness. Right? And all this stuff, when we look at murmuring, this is a direct result of us lacking faith. Right? We showed that in the murmuring class, that a lot of this stuff stems from a lack of faith. Okay? Let's go back to Revelation 12. And let's read verse 10.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12, and verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night.
So it say, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down. Okay, the accuser of the brethren is Satan. Right? And it's saying that he's been cast down, meaning there was a time period when we starved for the word. But the closer that we get to the end, the Lord has done nothing but increased his spirit. The Lord has increased the knowledge that we have to know the truth. And it's only growing. It's only getting bigger, because at the end of the day, this truth is going to spread to the four corners of the earth, man. This gospel is going to be everywhere. Right? It's going to come a time where, the Sabbath day, man, it's going to be camps almost on every corner teaching the truth. Everybody going to know about this. This is why in the end, you're not going to be able to tell the Lord that you didn't hear this, because this truth is increasing. It's going out, man. It say, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night, trying to tell us how we supposed to conduct ourselves with our book, trying to push Christianity on our people. Come on.
Verse number 11.
Uh-huh.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb,
Uh-huh.
and by the word of their testimony.
They overcame him by the word of their testimony, man. Come on.
And they loved not their lives unto the death.
Come on.
Therefore, rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them.
It's telling you to rejoice, because you have to understand, this whole chapter right here is a major prophecy. It's giving you the order of events. And we almost through it. That's the point. Right? Come on.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea,
Mm-hmm.
for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
So this right here, see, this is the point where we're getting into. We already done been through this part of the prophecy. Right? Look at where we started in verse 1. As you come down, you begin to realize, it say, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Man. Right? When you look at 70 AD, this was Esau coming into our land and just trying to destroy everybody. Tried to burn down all our tabernacles and buildings. This man was trying to kill our women and children. Right? We fleeing from Jerusalem. They trying to kill our people. They selling us into slavery. Right? It's saying that this man knows that his time is short. This is why you see all of the police brutality and you see all these curses being put forth. Man, this man knows who he has oppressed. There are history books that cost thousands of dollars where they hiding this type of information from you. Even the other nations is telling this man, you've been oppressing God's chosen people. Let's go to Obadiah. It's all there. Obadiah chapter 1. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 6.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
How are the things of Esau searched out?
Mm-hmm.
How are his hidden things sought up?
How are his hidden things sought up, man? This man, you don't think that these so-called white folks have read this book? You don't think that they don't see these prophecies here? You think they don't, they can't trace back to the Franks? You know, it's history books that tell you that the Franks is the Edomites. You don't think they read this stuff? You don't think they know that the Greeks and the Romans and the Franks and the Khazars, they the same people? They're not gonna tell you that. But these higher ups, you know, your Roman Catholics, do you know they got dungeons in the bottom of them churches with all our artifacts in it? All different types of stuff they done stole from the catacombs with black images. You got the popes bowing down to Black Mary and Black Christ. I got a book showing you how they bow down to these two different images, man. Telling you they know that they bow down to Christ. Jump down to verse 10.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
See, the point is, they know what they have done. The Edomites know what they have done to the Israelites. They know that their time is short, man, because they read these prophecies, man. That's the point. Right, let's go back to Revelation chapter 12. All right, Revelation chapter 12 and verse 13.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 13.
Uh-huh.
And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth.
When the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth. Come on.
He persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child.
He persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. Now keep in mind, this specific prophecy is taking place when we've been kicked out of Jerusalem. Okay. We are in northern Africa. Some of us have migrated down. This is that time period right here, where it's saying he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child, man. They know that their time is short. So what did they do? Come on.
The book of verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle. So when you start reading where it say he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child, these 2 wings, this is similitude of the northern and southern kingdom. But it's also a similitude of the Lord's protection in the midst of our captivity. Okay. This is the Lord's protection in the midst of our captivity, man. The last captivity right here. This is talking about America. Right? Read that from the top.
Verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness.
That she might fly into the wilderness. Now, when you read this prophecy, understand that this wilderness right here is America. Right? There is a deeper understanding to this. But this wilderness is America. Right? Let's go to Isaiah 40 real quick. Isaiah chapter 40. And let's read verse 29.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 40, and verse 29.
Mm-hmm.
He giveth power to the faint,
Mm-hmm.
and to them that have no might he increaseth strength.
Mm-hmm.
Even the youth shall faint and be weary,
Mm-hmm.
and the young men shall utterly fall.
Right, so let's say he giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength. You know, you ever wonder, sometime you may have seen a documentary or two on how the slaves were, out in the field, and, after you look at the amount of labor scientifically that they had to do, you think, man, there's no way possible that they could have, lived their entire life and worked from sun up to sundown in extremely hot conditions. And you begin to see, and to them that have no might, he increases strength. Right, read verse 31.
Verse 31.
Uh-huh.
But they that wait upon the Lord.
They that wait upon the Lord. When you're waiting upon the Lord, you're in a position of captivity, man. You waiting on the Lord to save you. That's what you waiting on. You waiting on the Lord. Come on.
Shall renew their strength.
They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Come on.
They shall mount up with wings as eagles.
They shall mount up with wings as eagle. These are those two wings of an eagle. Right? It's a similitude of the Lord showing us mercy in captivity. Right? You wait on the Lord, he renews your strength. Right? Come on.
They shall run and not be weary,
Uh-huh.
and they shall walk and not faint.
Let's go to chapter 41. Isaiah 41, let's read verse 18.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 41, and verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
I will open rivers in high places,
Uh-huh.
and fountains in the midst of the valleys.
Uh-huh.
I will make the wilderness a pool of water.
He say, I will make the wilderness a pool of water. Okay. Come on.
And the dry land springs of water.
Uh-huh.
And I will plant in the wilderness the cedar,
Uh-huh.
the shittah tree,
Uh-huh.
and the myrtle,
Uh-huh.
and the oil tree.
Uh-huh.
I will set in the desert the fir tree,
Uh-huh.
and the pine, and the box tree together.
See, this is what people don't understand about the Feast of Tabernacles and building your booth with these trees. The trees in the Bible, the Lord never intended for you to be focused on literal trees, man. The Lord wants you to be focused on repentance and building yourself up, man. You becoming that tree that's full of fruits. This is what the Lord really wanted you to focus on from the jump. Right? In the wilderness. We are in this wilderness right here. Right? Let's go back to Revelation 12. Revelation chapter 12. Let's read that verse 14 again.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12, and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle,
Mm-hmm.
that she might fly into the wilderness.
So with these 2 wings, it's saying that she's flying into the wilderness. Okay. Now, when you see this wilderness right here, like I say, it's talking about America, right? So we flying into this wilderness. But this is a twofold scripture, because we also have to go into the wilderness after we leave America, right? Let's go to Exodus 19. Exodus 19, right? This is where you see this similitude. If you've been studying, right? If you have some level of precept upon precept, right? Exodus 19 and verse 4.
The book of Exodus, chapter 19, and verse 4. Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians,
You have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, right? Come on.
and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself.
It's saying how I bear you on eagle's wings and brought you unto myself, right? So the same way you see these two wings of a great eagle going into America, the Lord is going to bring us out, right? The Lord is going to bring us out with these two wings into the wilderness. All right, let's go back to Revelation. Revelation 14. Let's read verse 12 again.
The book of Revelation. 14 and 12 or 12 and 14?
12 and 14.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 14. And to the woman were given two wings of a great eagle, and she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent.
From the face of the serpent. Now, when you see this time and times and a half of times, you see this same time period in chapter 11, and you see this same time period in Daniel chapter 7. Now, that's for another topic. Let's keep moving. All right, verse 15.
Verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood.
Now, let me say this so we can kind of see this. That time and half of times, that's 350 years. Okay, this places you around 1969. Okay, so what's happening is say, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood. Right, so this water that's coming out of the serpent's mouth, this is Christianity. Okay. This is Christianity. Highlight that flood and put Christianity. Come on.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman.
After the woman. After Israel. Trying to hit us with their water. When the Lord is the one, what we read in Isaiah 41, that's going to be giving us that he was changing the wilderness into that water. Right, real quick, let's go back to Isaiah before we move. Isaiah chapter 40. Is that what? No, that ain't what I want. That ain't 44. Verse 2.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 44 and verse number 2. Thus saith the Lord that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which shall help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground.
And floods upon the dry ground. Come on.
I will pour my spirit upon thee, upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thine offspring.
So the Lord is saying that he's going to pour out his spirit upon us, which is a representation of that flood, right? So the flood that the serpent is pouring out of his mouth, that's the devil. That's the spirit of Satan, which is what?
Christianity.
Christianity, man. Let's go back to Revelation 12 and verse 15.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Now, we done a class a while back where we showed what the spiritual representation of those slave ships was, right? To be carried away with false doctrine. That's what you carried away with. Okay, real quick, let's go to Ephesians chapter 4. Ephesians chapter 4, and let's read verse 14.
The book of Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 14. That we henceforth be no more children.
Be no more children. Don't be childish. Come on.
Tossed to and fro.
Tossed to and fro. Come on.
And carried about with every wind of doctrine.
And carried about with every wind of doctrine. So this man shot out that flood to carry us away into that doctrine. All right, let's go back. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 15.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Carried away with that false doctrine, man. Come on.
And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
And the earth helped the woman, right? So it's saying that this earth right here helped Israel, right? And the earth opened her mouth, right? So this earth has a mouth and swallowed up the flood. I mean, swallowed up this doctrine which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Right? What you're going to understand is this earth right here is talking about the prophets. Right? The prophets have opened up their mouth, and we have showed our people that Christianity is a false doctrine, man. Straight up, all the way around, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The prophets are back on the earth, and we swallowing up this doctrine, man. Let's go to Psalms chapter 85. And Psalms 85 and verse 11.
The book of Psalms, chapter 85 and verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth.
Truth shall spring out of the earth, right? Out of the earth's mouth. There's truth coming out of the mouth. Come on.
And righteousness shall look down from heaven.
And righteousness shall look down from heaven, right? So you have to understand truth is springing out of the earth, man. Truth is coming from the prophets, right? From the Lord. Let's go to Amos. Amos chapter 3 and verse 7.
The book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 7. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. So the things that the Lord wants to say and the things that the Lord wants to get across, he puts it in the mouth of his prophets. Okay? And they deliver that message, man. But, you know, you have to understand these prophecies are very specific. And there's no way possible that a man could have wrote this stuff this long ago, man. Let's just keep it real. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 16 again.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 16. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
So the dragon cast Christianity out of his mouth, but at the end of the day, the Lord's prophets, the earth, have swallowed up that false doctrine. Right, come on.
Verse 17.
Uh-huh.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
Now, this is where we at in the prophecy right now. Right, we are living in verse 17 right now. Right, read that from the top.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God, and have the testimony of Jesus Christ.
This is the Israelites that are walking the earth right now. The Israelites walking the earth right now are keeping God's commandments in the faith in Christ right now. And the nations are not happy with this, man. The dragon is not okay with this. This is why you see them trying to fight us every chance you get. Anytime a brother talk about anti-Semitism or anything like that, man, they get shut down, man. You seen them do it to Nick Cannon, You seen them do it to what's that football player that played for the Eagles? I can't think of his name right now. That brother came out. They shut him down, man. They shut down Whitney Houston. They shut down Malcolm X. They shut down Martin Luther King. All these people were starting to realize, okay, this is the truth, and they start shutting them down. Man, Ice Cube. One day you're gonna start to realize, if somebody say they a Muslim, it don't mean nothing. Everybody like, okay, that's cool. Somebody tell you they a Christian, it's all love, it's all good. But the minute that you start saying that you an Israelite, that's where the problems come in. You're not gonna be a celebrity in their system openly confessing that you an Israelite. Bro, they're gonna shut you down. You have to start realizing that, man. Let's go to 2nd Esdras. Matter of fact, let's go to Sirach 4. Sirach chapter 4 and verse 28.
The book of Sirach, or the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4 and verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee.
This is why I say strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee, man. Because this is a battle, man. You have to endure to the end, right? This dragon is wroth with the woman. So what do we have to do? We have to stand strong, man. Let's go back to that Revelation chapter 12. And verse 11.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death.
When the Bible say they love not their lives, that's specifically talking about you putting everything to the side and picking up your cross and walking with it, man. You have to put everything to the side. Our people got so many things that they idolize and that they love more than this truth, man. And that's a problem. Because the Bible say the righteous love not their lives unto death, to the death. Let's go to John chapter 12. John chapter 12. Pull that real quick. John chapter 12 and verse 25.
The book of John, chapter 12 and verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
He that loveth his life shall lose it.
He that loveth his life shall lose it, man. When it say loveth his life, highlight that and put the things of the world. The world. He that loveth his life shall lose it. Come on.
And he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal.
It say he that hateth his life in this world. Man. He did. When it say hateth his life, it ain't talking about you walking around, all depressed all the time. No, this is talking about you choosing the Lord over everything else. When it comes down to choosing the Lord, you have to hate everything. And that's the type of spirit that we supposed to be walking in, man. The book of Acts, chapter 5 and verse 29. Remember, we still in the Feast of Tabernacles. Stay strong. No murmuring. Right? Stay in the spirit. Bring it out.
The book of Acts, chapter 5 and verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, We ought to obey God rather than men.
We ought to obey God rather than men every single day, man. And that's exactly what we're going to do, right? With that, we say,
Shalom.